Good morning and welcome to the Do It With Us session for the 4th of December. I like my little intro. I get quite attached to that. It's really handy when you're editing your videos because if you have that at the beginning, you don't have to go searching, reminding yourself what one it is. And sometimes, well, now I have Trisha organizing me, but I'd have 4 or 5 that I was downloading at one time. And so just for records, if you're ever doing lives and do that little snippet at the beginning, it'll save you hours and hours of time. So
I do find maybe we should do that with our Voxers because I'm trying to find something from Voxer and I just have to listen to them all. Like there's no, oh, that's the one I was looking for. Where is it? I know she told me it.
yeah, yeah. That is the downside of not writing, isn't it? Like it's like there's no transcription of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an app if somebody wants to start developing apps.
Transcription.
A Boxer app with transcribe. Hi Mario. I can't hear you. Don't start this again. No, it's Mari's earphones. Yep. What happened then? No. While
Um,
Mary sorts her hearing out, Karen, you had a question which I can probably dive into, Karen Dawn, about your SEO. And I
Mhm.
know that all three of you need to do this job, so I will go into a bit more detail so that everyone feels really confident with doing it. Um, if you need help, Mari, just put your hand up, but we can't hear you.
I plugged my earphones in once and it completely stuffed up Zoom and it took me weeks to get it fixed up. It just was a
If
shit
you
fight.
click on the
So
little
now I
down
got
arrow next to the audio, you should be able to reselect where the audio is coming through.
in theory.
Yes. I know. Well, you saw my problems that I had last week, so
Still can't hear you, Murray.
I'll
okay.
have to
So
watch the replay from last week.
yeah, yeah.
I
It
know,
was
I must have missed it. I feel like I must have missed it. I'm sure I was here.
yeah, no, it was when it all dropped out.
Oh, yes, yes, you were dropping it. That's right. Yeah, and sending us messages going, I'm just rebooting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. After we just spent the first 5 minutes of the call saying how our internet was we weren't loving our internet.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I am looking for Lotta. I was showing you all my financials this morning.
Long
Everything.
enough, we just start focusing and it's gone.
Yeah, yeah. I'm refinancing, so I've got numbers and figures and everything of my life here. Okay, so who are we going to?
Let us know if you find a better bloody financial solution than every other bank at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just going with ANZ, but yeah, it's just a reconsolidation since we've done the renovation.
Hmm.
But of course, the paperwork, everything's just got to get updated and
Yep.
doesn't do anything electronic. So it's all on my shoulders. And I'm like, oh, spreadsheets galore. Anyway, um, okay.
Same with
So,
my business, the small business grant application. I just got bamboozled by all the paperwork, basically, and I thought, why do I pay $30 a month for AI? Let's go. So every single question I've put into AI, and yeah, it's come up good so far.
yeah, just be careful they don't have a bot that recognizes AI.
We're gonna change every word every now and again. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you just got to shake it up. Okay, so Karen Dawn's question was, when she posted her URL onto Facebook, for example, or if you're sending it in Messenger to somebody, there is a little blurb and an image that shows up, and that pulls from your SEO data. This is also what Google uses to send a little spider zap and it goes and references all the pages and finds the most appropriate response for somebody's question that they put into Google. So if you type in Karen Thornley Sunshine Coast and Karen Thornley doesn't have that on her website, the likelihood of that coming up is so it could be naturopath Sunshine Coast or naturopath. So you've just got to kind of get in the heads of somebody that is searching and try your hardest to create content on your SEO pages, which I'm about to show you what they are, that is relevant to that, because it will then bring that page up as a response or as an answer to that SEO. So I'll start with Karen's website, and ultimately with SEO, you have the opportunity to do it on every single page. So even if it's just a payment page, you can still do it. I'd probably recommend that you don't SEO your thank you pages, because one, you don't want people finding them because they've generally got join the group or do the thing that you want them to do after they've paid. But apart from that, all the pages, it's good to spend some time and think about some keywords and some kind of good wording that will help people drive to your page. So where you access the SEO, you will have seen it, because if you ever save a page, it does pop up in the bottom left-hand corner and gets you to update it or asks you to update it. But I'm going to take a guess that you're like most people and you just snub it away. But this little icon up here with the page and the magnifying glass is your SEO metadata. So in here, you can choose an image. Now, this is probably not an ideal size. I would say a good size for SEO would be 180 by 180, which is a square size, and it's like a Facebook or an Instagram post size. Just because if you put this in, it can be a lot of photo to the text. So if it's a squarer version, and it doesn't say too much about you. So you could have, visit my website, or you could create a graphic that kind of says something a bit about what they're actually going to. And you can have a different image on every page. So if you're sending links to clients for booking or, your Connect With Me page, that's when it becomes kind of apparent, because I even noticed the other day, I've updated my Connect With Me page, and the image that I've chosen for here is really pixelated and horrible. So when I send that link to people, it looks really pixelated. So I need to go in myself and update that. So it is just one of those things. Then you have content. You have a title, which is limited to, how many characters are in there. The title shows up in search results, helps search engines and people understand the topic of your page. So the more relevant that can be, the better. So maybe even for you, Karen, Heal Your Past, Rise Strong probably isn't something somebody's going to be searching or wanting to find. So you might find that I've just taken that from here. Mm-hmm. It needs to be under 70 characters, and titles and domain names are unique. So using a domain name too often, like if you're going KarenDawnCoaching.com in your title, it's going to lose credibility. I didn't know that. So helpful to read these things.
So do you think she would be better? So say Karen has a few different pages. Should she be better off to leave out Karen Dawn Coaching and just have, for example, Heal Your Past, Rise Strong? And then the next one might be Look to Your Future, or whatever it is, without adding Karen Dawn Coaching to each of them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's what it's saying. You've already got the domain here, so it says Karen Dawn Coaching. So maybe, you could write website homepage, and some of the content that's on the homepage. So more relevant about what they're coming to see or what's actually as a result on this page.
How do we change that domain name on the SEO metadata there?
Yeah, I'll show you that after I do this bit.
Because that's my issue. Because
Yep.
that when I do the .com, it comes up with no image unless I put the /home.
Yep. I'll show you.
Groovy.
And then the last piece is your description.
Mhm.
So this page has a meta description, but a meta description is basically a brief summary. When you go to Google and you search, so if we open up Google and we search, it's a high chance that this is going to show your website. And then Facebook, that's what you have written as your Facebook description.
Mhm.
And then this is what you have for the first reference.
Ooh, I need to change LinkedIn. I don't even use LinkedIn.
So it's a good idea to Google yourself and see what people are finding. I mean, most people don't search these days. Like we go straight to what we want, but these are pretty important. And so you might find that some of these pages that have referenced are different pages of your site. So that is the home page. This one here is LinkedIn. This one here is your paid one-on-one coaching. For some reason, that's ranked. But you'll probably find that most of the pages of your website will come up. If you're on, TikTok or YouTube, usually you'll have some sort of information that comes up. And then over here, you'll see. Now, if you update this, it will take up to 2 weeks for that information to feed through to Google. So don't panic that it's not updated straight away. But if you go through and actually put the effort in on each of the pages, you definitely will reap the rewards of your pages working better. The description should be under 155 characters. So your aim is to get all ticks here. So this one, it's got too much content. And then you can put in some keywords. So if you want to, there's some tools out there that you can go and search for keywords for different industries, and you can do some keyword research and find out what are the top keywords that people are searching. Coaching and finance are probably one of the two biggest industries. So getting ranked on a keyword is highly unlikely because there's so many coaches out there. But if you did something like trauma coaching or past life coaching, you're probably higher ranking on those sorts of terms. Now, probably you'll find that there's 20 or 30 people on those pages and you might be on page 5 or 6. But if you can find some keywords where there's not a lot of results, you can rank yourself fairly high on keywords.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
How do you know when the keywords are good words to use? Which keywords are good words? So you're saying, some of them are higher ranking. You might be on page 6. Is this just going through? How do you do that?
Okay, so it's like doing a degree. SEO is such a big entity, like it's such a big part of, and it's a bit of a like, how do you get your posts seen on Facebook? It's a bit of an unknown, like there's an algorithm to it and whatnot. But Google has a tool called Google Keyword Research Tool, which is connected to their ads account. There are paid tools, but I find this Google Keyword Planner, you do need a Google Ads account. You don't have to pay with it, but you do need to sign in and have access to Google. And then you can search what are the top search terms that people are using in your industry. I wouldn't be choosing the top ones. And the reason for that is the top ones are always the most competitive. And so you'll be competing with others that are either paying for ads to show up on those keywords, or they're paying for traffic to go to their website, or they've paid for someone to SEO engine their websites, which people pay a lot of money for that as a tool, and it's an ongoing thing. The top 5 things that help your site to be seen is the keywords that are relative to your business. So the things that people might search when they go into Google are in your domain name. That's number 1. Number 2 is they're in the long tail of your domain name. So if you're bodymindbones.com/menopause for women, for example, if menopause and women are keywords, that would rank kind of high up on the side of things. And that's why blog posts help with SEO and really help drive traffic to your sites, because usually the title of the blog goes at the end of your domain name. So therefore you're creating lots of pages that are keyword relevant or question specific to what your target market is asking. There is a Ask the Public, which is another tool that you can go to. Once again, it's a free tool to a level, and then it's a paid tool. But you can ask the public is basically finding out what the public is asking about your industry. So if you came in here and you say, I'm just going to choose menopause because it's top of mind. So it's answer the public, not ask the public. So if I put in menopause, it's going to give me a whole stack of questions that people are asking about menopause. It'll tell you what's highly searched, what's the average searched, and what's lower searched. You're set for days. If you just go from these topics and you created a blog post on every single topic, you would have content for days. And that would then mean that the chance of you finding information or people finding information that are searching those particular things are going to find your website because of the questions. So when it comes to creating content, you probably know your topics and know your audience. This is why we say right at the beginning, know your niche, know exactly what you're doing. And maybe there's a criteria within menopause that you kind of hone in on. Like, so if it's fitness for menopause.
Yeah, fitness.
Yeah, you can hone into that particular thing. If it's sleep, you can hone into that. And so this would just help you to create blog posts, which would mean that these words, what is menopause, what menopause does to your body, if that's the title of your blog post, that would be, your domain name would be bodymindbones.com/what menopause does to your body. And so Google is going to give that as a really clear response or an answer to somebody that searches for that particular question. So the more relevant data that you can get and host on your websites, the more chance you have of being found and being a result when people search. So we've got domain name, long tail domain name, and then things like these, the SEO metadata, and keywords. You can also use links and tags. Look, I haven't gone about creating meta tags. They used to be really popular. Search engines used to only use meta tags to send people to pages, but in my experience, they are not used as much. And then, I don't even know how to say this word, canonical links. They are the way in which you well, having too many outbound links can overwhelm visitors and might make search engines see that your page has a low quality or is spammy. It's best to keep the total under 300, including links in navigational menus. So I don't even know.
They asked me for this when I was starting the blog, and I didn't know what a canonical link was.
My understanding of what they are is, so back in the day too, and I don't know how much this actually references. I'm not an SEO expert by any stretch of the imagination. However, I've always had websites that have ranked well, and I've based that on having good, relevant content and providing what people want when they come to your website, but finding it very easy to find. But what used to be the case was external links and internal links. So other people linking to your site ranked your site as being more viable or a more valid response, and you linking to other people's. So it was like this joint, if people link to you and other people link to you, that ranked your sites. And so people ended up creating all of these like directory pages within their sites that linked everywhere. And then Google shut that down and really pushed it to the bottom of what gave them ranking, because people realized that was a way to kind of fight the system. And to me, I go, if you do anything that kind of bucks around trying to do what they're designing the system to do, and that is to filter good information to the right people. That's all Google really wants to do. It's all Facebook really tries to do, apart from the fact that they have these little monetary arms that come in that people pay money for ads, and so they get priority over somebody that might have better content, but they're not paying for ads. Whole nother argument, but I'm not going to go there this morning. So what my suggestion is do the SEO, spend the time on every single page that you have, and make sure that they have all the ticks, and create a blog or create relevant content pages constantly where you're putting information out that's helpful to people and that people go to. And even if you're driving them to it, the fact that they're getting people going to it, that's why blog posts do well or podcasts do well, because it's constant, like once a week you're putting out a piece of content, you're driving traffic to it, that traffic's then doing other things, and ultimately that's the goal of content marketing.
I just Googled it, and this is my simplified version because yours went a little bit over my head. It just said that if you've got different sites, like Mari, you'll have different blogs. We'll all have different blogs, similar, or sites similar. So I've got the sleep ebook and a Christmas ebook, and the canonical link is the one that you want them to go to for that thing. Because when you do a Google search engine, like Rochelle just said, it'll find keywords and throw up a whole heap. This is where do you want them to go if they search the keywords that you've just given on this particular site. So your preferred site URL.
So the canonical link for my blog needs to be directing them not to my homepage, but directly to the blog.
Yes. If that's where
the canonical link to my course is going to have to be the exact page drop to the course, yeah?
That's how I understood it.
On each of the pages, that you're putting tag words, keywords at the bottom of, you're saying for these keywords, send them to this URL.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. And how do we change
the wrong one?
URL on the homepage there, Ro?
Yes,
Setting?
I'm into it, Karen.
I
Okay.
went in and played, hey, and I looked at all these things.
So if we just want Karen Dawn Coaching to be the pathway, we just put a /, and then it says this is reserved for the root domain. Which which I'm pretty sure we have set up as the root domain, but let me just double check.
See, I would never have thought to do that myself. Like just leave a / there.
No.
Yeah, so it's basically saying that if you want your homepage to be without without a / home,
Yeah.
then you want that to be the path for the single domain. But the other thing, just wait for this to roll on. The other thing is in settings, we can go to domains and we can tell them which we want the root domain, well, root page that we want that domain to go to. So we tell it that domain, we want it to go to this page.
Mhm.
But if we don't come and do this path update, then it will just have the word home or whatever you have on each of the pages.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if this is going to update. So
I can go back and do it later if you want.
yeah, well, and if we have any problems with it, the other thing on each of the pages, so there's the website settings, and then each of the pages there's a setting on the pages. Same with funnels. Each of the funnel steps, there's a setting little cog, which I think we went into for yours last week, Karen. And so each page within your website will have a name, and usually they'll put that as the KarenDawnCoaching.com / home or one-on-one coaching or whatever the name of the page is. It'll automatically put that as the tail. But if we want just the homepage to be a root domain, then we need to tell it that we don't want it to have a path.
Cool.
And then that should show whatever the SEO data is on that page that you're pointing it to automatically. It's spinning.
All right. And what was down in this, you said the settings one down here?
Yeah, so if we go to settings.
Yep.
And then we go to domains.
Mhm.
So when each of you had your account set up, we set up a domain, all your domains, by connecting a domain, and it links to Cloudflare and it sends the DNS settings and does all the setup for you. So all your domains are sitting here. And for each of these domains, you can tell the root domain. So I always suggest when the setup happens, it asks you, do you also want to add the www version? So these www versions will just point to the one that doesn't have a www. So you'll see that effortless lead gen points to, there'll be an effortless lead gen without the www. Has it just proven me wrong? It has. So you should have an effortlessleadgen.com that you brought in and a www for each domain.
Probably because we're not using it anymore anyway. And the KarenDawn.org, I don't have that domain anymore either.
Okay, so cleaning that up, they were all in here, so I just migrated them all over. If any of you have the word migrate sitting here on your domains page, you just need to log into your Cloudflare account on a separate tab and then migrate, and it will just update your settings. I think they did some updates on their servers. So if you don't want the KarenDawn.org anymore, you can just delete these domain settings. Do you want me to do that, Karen?
Yeah, I don't have the domain anymore. Hopefully we don't lose anything that we've got set up.
These were just pointed to your Connect with Me, so and your challenge.
Mhm.
So what I would suggest, and whether you have so within the site, you can have separate domain names for different things. So for example, you can have a separate domain name for your community login or your courses login. You can have a separate domain name for websites and funnels. So they don't have to all be the one domain name. So if you had, Mari's probably a good example. So Mari has a website and a business that's called bodymindbones.com. So her website is on bodymindbones.com, but she's also purchased the domains Menopause Mastermind,
Can't even remember now.
Menopause Mastermind membership.com. And that domain is to the sales page for the Menopause Mastermind membership. So you can set up separate domains that go specifically to a page that is for that topic. So you can, if having a domain makes it easy for you to promote it, that's good. The other thing you can do is, like Karen did here with her karendawn.org, is put a subdomain, it's called. So you can create within your domain subdomains. So you can have challenge or members.karendawncoaching.com, and that could be pointed to your login area, to where your members log in and access courses and things like that.
Karen Dawn, did you have to buy the opt-in.Karen, the ones that don't have www, did you? Did you buy, you don't even know. Like, I know that I bought karenthorley.com.au, and I've got to add a few in there. I've noticed just on mine, but did you?
No, I have not bought those ones at all, and I don't even know what they are.
So you just buy the one domain. So with subdomains, you can have unlimited number of subdomains. So Karen Thorley, you can have members.karenthorley.com, or you could have members.plantful.com.
And do you just add them in here where you are now?
Yeah, you connect it, you add it, and it puts a reference in and connects to your Cloudflare, sets up all the bits and pieces that need to happen. And then you can point that specific URL to a page or to an area that enables you to do that. So the client portal, they call it, within the system, you can have a separate domain. Funnels, you can have separate domains. Or you could choose to have one domain. For example, if you were Body Mind Bones, you can have bodymindbones.com and only use subdomains for all the different things. So you have one domain, but all different sub.
That sounds more easy.
Yeah.
My brain's starting to just.
Yeah, I don't agree, but it's kind of how you want to, to me, I love domain names. I think domain names are quite powerful. If you can get a nice short one that says what it is that you do, it's very easy for people to remember domain names rather than remembering a prefix to something else. It's fine if you're sending people the link, but if you're going live and you're wanting to do, buy dot blah, 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 dot blah, blah, and the domain gets 15 kilometers long, it's hard. But if I was selling effortless leads, if I said to you, just go to effortlessleadgen.com, like, to me, that's an easier thing to remember than karendawncoaching.com/buy now or leadgen.karendawncoaching.com. To me, it's like becomes really long. Anyway.
I think you might have lost me in the world of SEO.
Sorry?
I think my brain is still trying to work out SEO. I haven't quite moved on to this part of the conversation yet.
Yeah. Well, I think SEO, like, you just have to take it to the level that you can do it. It's a bit like Facebook advertising. It's a whole world unto itself. If you just focus on going into every single page of your website and getting those things that I just went through done, that will help you to the moon. And then,
except for this whole week, this whole last hour, 90% of it just went.
so that's why there's the recording. Go back, Just watch it, go through those steps and do the SEO.
And it'll drop more every time. Like I've
That's
got
what I'm
really
trusting.
leave
Yeah.
the effortlessly just in case. But yeah.
So I'm just getting rid of the KarenDawn.org ones, yeah. If you don't own the domain, it's not going to go anywhere anyway. So for Karen, just because you're doing a good old cleanse right now, if you're wanting to set up your members area, you might have a name for that community. What's the name of your community on Facebook?
Perfectly imperfect women.
So, for example, you might want to purchase that domain, Perfectly Imperfect Women, and that could point to your community. So that's the domain that people go to log in and access your Our Lotta community or your Perfectly Perfect community. Alternatively, you could set up members.karendawncoaching.com and have that as the place that they log in. So what they log into is your members area.
And as Karen Thorley said before, we don't have to go, let's say, to, Crazy Domains and buy a domain that says members.karendawncoaching.com.
No, if you already own the domain name, then putting a sub word before your domain name is free, unlimited. There's no limits to how many domains you have set up. There's no limits to how many subdomains you have set up. But if you want to buy a domain name, they're $20. So it's not like a big out-of-pocket expense. And if you think about it from a branding perspective, it can be quite powerful. So personally, I have it set up with separate domain names. But I also have a bit of a confusing, I have Online Wise is my free community, Our Lotta Academy is the paid, so then there was confusion about which domain do you use as the login, so it can get confusing like that. And I know Mari's had that same experience.
I don't even know what I've got now. I've lost track.
Yeah. But I think too, having a hub, like when you're creating a group, and this is where I think when you're creating a group and you're just sending traffic there, that's one exercise, right? And we sometimes start there and we kind of don't think about the big picture. But now there's GoCollab where you can create a group that the whole world can see. Now, having something that is not keyword specific or not relative to the topic that you're talking about in that community kind of falls on deaf ears because nobody knows what's done behind the doors of that community unless it's called what it is that you do.
So I want to set up a Better Sleep community. Better Sleep's already taken, so I'm Better Sleep Queen, which is fine, so that's what I used to be anyway.
Even
but
better.
Adding that domain into Our Lotta, into domains, isn't like I've logged into Crazy Domains to get any details I might need, and I'm logged into Our Lotta. I'm trying to put it in, but it's asking me for record, host, required
so you
values.
need to be logged into Cloudflare. So you just missed that step in between.
Can you get to Cloudflare through Our Lotta?
No, Cloudflare is a separate login.
Okay.
I just did all of that for you, Karen.
Yeah, I know. Now I don't know how to do it.
There will be, I'm going to say by the end of the month, there will be videos, tutorials on how to do it. I just took the path of least resistance as far as setting up domains. If you want to give it to me, I'm happy to set it up. It'll take me 5 minutes, but I do have a recording I can send you that shows how to do it. But if you're logged into Cloudflare, it's pretty straightforward. If you just put in members or if you just put in the domain, bettersleepqueen.com, add the domain and you're logged into Cloudflare, it will then automatically connect to Cloudflare, update all the settings it needs to, and you'll authorize it and it'll be done.
All right. Well, I'm just logging into Cloudflare. Let's see how clever it is without me.
So this is the client portal. Now, if you haven't
Oh.
set up your client portal, this is where I was saying you can have a custom domain for your portal. So you could have something like, well, Karen Dawn might have members.karendawncoaching.com, or she could have perfectlyimperfectwomen.com and have that as the domain. You can also update this subdomain here and just use the client portal. You don't even have to have your own domain to it, so you can still access it. And ultimately, what this is, I'll show you just the one that comes up. So this is the Inside Coop, which is the chicken website that I have. With the Inside Coop, her domain name, theinsidecoop.com, goes to the sales page, but the login to the members portal goes to members.theinsidecoop.com. So I didn't need to put this login. It automatically just does that itself. And then if I log in,
Is this a good way to do it?
what was your question?
So to have the subdomain as the members login goes to that subdomain members at, so you don't have to put login. Like, do you think that?
It is a way. I prefer the way Mari's done it, but
I don't even know what that is. What is that way?
what's your hub?
Menopause Health Hub.
Yeah, I love your answers, Murray. It just makes me feel not alone.
Yes, there's two, yeah. I think I went down the rabbit hole and then I
So I
inevitably
really like
freeze
Mari
halfway down it because I don't know what to do
because
next,
to
and then I just
me,
drop it.
if I'm promoting something, I like the fact that it's the Menopause Health Hub. This is where I'm going, and this is Mari's login.
Oh, and the picture actually looks quite good. The words are not on top of each other.
Oh, I wonder who did that, Mari.
Do you know what?
so-
Setting up that page image, just get Rochelle to do it. Sorry, Rochelle.
No, so what I've
painful.
actually done, I've been working on it for weeks now, and I'm like, oh my God, you know when I'm like, I feel like I'm 2 weeks overdue and I really just want this baby out. But I have created all of the Canva documents with all of the where you put what, so it looks like this.
It's painful otherwise. So thank you.
Yes, it can look really crappy.
Oh,
And you'll see, like, before I logged into this one, I haven't fixed this one up either. So when you log in, this is what, but this is a really good conversation because I think so many of us just don't think through this process of how are we going to promote ourselves. And if we go the easy route of just going members.theinsidecoop.com, we kind of miss the whole how we're going to put this out to the world. And I don't think this is the best way. But because we wanted to use the domain for the sales page, it was kind of the only way. But I feel like the Menopause Health Hub, to me, it's like you can promote the Menopause Health Hub, and within the Menopause Health Hub, you have two groups, a free group and a paid group. And if either of you are wanting to go down the path of setting this up, I will make this as easy as it possibly can be. Unfortunately, Mari was my guinea pig. So it has been quite a painful journey for her. However, this is getting better and better as I use it. So you then have your two groups to choose. One is free, one is paid, and then you have to name your groups. So Mari called her group the Fit Pros Menopause Health Hub, and then there's the Menopause Mastermind membership. maybe there's a bit of work that you could do there, but I feel like that's clear to me. It's a mouthful, but it's
It
clear.
is. And I did think about that for such a long time, but because my audience is fitness professionals, I could have just put Menopause Health Hub, but then I knew I was going to get clients and I don't want them. Sorry. I want the fitness professionals. So I was toying with taking the Fit Pros words out, but then I was like, no, because then I'm going to be explaining myself the whole time that I really want fitness professionals here, and it had to come first because the menopause space is so noisy. I was like, no, I need to be very clear. So yes, it is a mouthful. And even when I look at the
You
name
just
of it on the
confused
main
me.
page, it doesn't appeal to me. When I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, you can't see the word Health Hub when you go into that, that page before this, when you're looking at the two groups.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see the whole title, which is annoying. But I think the Fit Pros bit is the important bit I need to have there.
Yeah, I mean, you could maybe update this image,
Yeah.
make it like the free
I'll just move the hands over.
Fit Pro. Yeah, you just have to be mindful, right? This image, and this is with everything online. They use one image, like your Facebook banner, and then they move it and they change it.
I know, and
Oh,
that's
this,
where I
that, the
get
other. So
stuck.
you've got to be mindful of its use in different capacities. So when you're creating an image, it might look fabulous, and this one looks a bit lopsided here.
Yeah,
Because that image is used in other places,
that's right. And
you
I
have
can't
other
remember how
stuff
to
that goes
fix.
over top of this, and it makes it look really messy. So, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I'm now at the point where I'm like, I don't need to care too much because that's not what they're there for. I'm like, oh, I would move those hands over, but yeah, anyway, yeah.
Is that kind of like the same as like the website page when you look at it on laptop
Mobile.
setting
Yeah,
or phone setting? Like
yeah,
there's a couple of images in the phone setting where all you see is my shoulder.
Yeah,
Like
it's mobile responsive. They try and make these things, really handy because they go from one device to another. But unfortunately, they look completely different on a mobile device than they do on a desktop. So there is a way that you can adjust those things, and you can turn certain things off on the mobile view and play around with it. I generally don't do mobile kind of optimization until everything's 100% sorted. Otherwise, you'll be doing it 50 times. But on any of the pages, when you're in the edit view, you can move to mobile and see what it looks like in mobile. You might need to change your margins for mobile and that sort of stuff to get it right. And you can turn pages or sections on and off. If you don't want to show a particular section because it's got too much data on mobile, you can just turn it off if it's not relevant.
so
And
when you're changing margins on mobile setting, it doesn't change it on the other setting as well.
you have to just select. There's
Uh-huh.
a little drop down next to the setting, and it's got a computer screen or a mobile screen. If you move to mobile screen and select that, then make the change, it will only change it on mobile. If you don't do that, it will change it on both.
Mhm.
And whenever you're doing that, just do a few things, test it as you go, because you don't want to go doing 5 or 6 things and then you're not sure what you've changed, and you go from there. So just coming back to groups, because I feel like this is a journey that is relevant to all three of you, maybe not you, Karen, right now, but potentially. When you have a free group, the power of public versus private. So currently, all of the feed, when it's private, is not seen by anyone that isn't a member. So when our site comes up in somewhere like Go Colab, where people are coming and looking through different communities, they don't really get a sample of anything until they log in and join your community. So making it public would give them access to the posts that happen. And if they want to then access anything else, all these things here, if they clicked on the open and they weren't logged in, it will ask them to join the community to access it. So you can have within your learning free things and paid things. So in this particular instance, you wouldn't have this ad course. It's only because I'm an admin. But in this particular instance, I'd click on this and want to do the 5-day challenge, and it would ask me to join the community. Over here, if I clicked on this, it's going to charge me the $99 a month, and then it's going to open up the other paid community, which has all the courses in it. This one here, it's $47. So this is a great way for you to create a community and then sell low ticket, pain point trainings specifically, or just create a free community that nurtures your people into the next step for them is to join your paid community where they get X, Y, and Z over there. So in Mari's paid community, I hope you don't mind me using you as an example here, Mari.
No.
In Mari's paid community, when you are in the paid community, there is a whole lot of learning that is all open and ready for you to use. So by paying the $99 a month to join the paid community, I'm getting all this extra stuff. They've also launched events, so you can set up your weekly calls and Zoom calls in the events calendar. And they've also set up an about page, which is kind of like a sales page for your group. So I know Mari has done her about page on her free group, but is not done one on the paid yet.
Oh, no, I forgot about that.
Hi there. If you're a female fitness professional working with women,
Oh, no, don't listen.
You can all
I don't
go
like
to
hearing
that
my own voice
all
like that.
public for everybody to go visit and listen to. And so I have got a template where you can actually talk. But basically what you're wanting to do in this video, this then becomes a sales page because you can send people straight to this link. They can get a feel for your community. They can join straight away, which is a lead gen. And in this video, you want to share with them what they get inside for joining this community. So a lot of you have freebies that you offer on an opt-in. You can have the second step to be join your free community. And maybe on that freebie that you have, you could create a sequence that like a mini course or some videos that went with it that take them through a process. Maybe there's some resources and stuff that you've already got that you already use that you can kind of set up in an easy way for people to consume. So then they become, a really valuable place to come and hang out and get information, get to know all about you. But this about video, this is like a sales page. So rather than you having to spend hours building out a sales page, you can do a sales page on here. There are some really good ones. Well, school has the same setup. So you can either go through school and have a look at some kind of top income earners on school and have a look at their about pages and what they include. But I actually have written a whole script of what to do in the video. And I've also got some Canva templates to help create this about page.
I know you've probably just said this, but if somebody wants to read the about section of my paid community without paying, they can read that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it becomes like the sales page.
Yeah, okay.
And it's your opportunity to showcase what they get for $99.
Yeah. And that we talked about that last time of maybe doing that over the shoulder walkthrough video of inside, which is what I could probably do for the paid group, is do a video different to what this one is.
Yeah. I mean, you could do it for this one too, because they still get learning, so you can step them through what they actually get for free. Even though it's free, they're still having to make a decision of giving you their time and their email address. That is worth currency. Like that is a a currency in business. It's a commitment that I'm making to join your free group and to consume. So you want to get them in there and consuming. Otherwise, it's just a wasted process. The same with a freebie funnel. Like, it's no use somebody downloading your freebie and not reading it. Like, you need them to move the needle with what they're learning or get a shift or feel like that was huge value and, oh my God, I need to work with this person from what they've experienced in that freebie. So when we're talking about giving away something for free, it has to wow somebody, because this is your opportunity to meet this person, build rapport automatically if it's on video, and get them into, I need to do this Thrive course. I need to learn this stuff because I'm a personal trainer, and this, for $99, I can add an additional income to my business because I can specialize in this side of things. Or I need to have Karen Dawn's coaching because I've seen in this mini course that she did that, you know, the breakthroughs I had. Imagine if I was working one-on-one with her. Or, oh my God, like, I've had so much understanding about my health and nutrition with Karen in her group. I want to work with her one-on-one because I really just want to fix my sleep problem.
Yep.
So it's like auto magic client nurturing. And then all freebies should lead to your free group and be where you nurture them, and you're just adding value then into a group. So one piece of content goes into a group and everybody gets value from it, rather than you having to work really hard to find people to consume it and get value from it and use it and want to do the next step. Any questions?
No. I've got a lot to do.
We all get to the end of the hour and we're all just in that numb stage. It's like, questions? What questions? Huh?
What questions? Okay, so what about actions? What are you going to get done before next week? I know, Mari, you're going to be flying on a plane. She's like, stop it.
Well, I've got to get it all done before I get on the plane, or I will spend the whole plane journey going, I'm not done.
Okay,
I'll just do the SEO website stuff right now.
right?
Just quickly go through that section. That's my job.
Yep. Karen?
I like you.
Sorry, which Karen? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, that was me.
Okay.
Karen Thorley. Go.
Oh, I was just going to say how great it was that Murray just broke that down, because I'm like, I want to create, my next thing was to create a challenge, for want of a better word, for next week, for next month for sleep, for January. So I need a landing page and all the things that we've just done for the other two ebooks similar. But I also want to start a community. So I don't know what's the first step. It all just seems big.
Okay, so I think for you then, creating a community and running the challenge in the community would be a great way to launch your community.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's what I used to always do on Facebook, right? You bring people into the group and then you host the thing in the group, so that even though the people that are in the group might not want to do the challenge, they're seeing it and they're like, oh, I'm getting FOMO here. So fill the pot and then run the thing there. And then you can direct any outside traffic to, hey, if you want to do this challenge, it's here. It's in a group.
Right.
Because otherwise you're not going to have anywhere to send them to do the challenge.
Okay. So in order to do that, just going back again, I need to put those domains into Cloudflare because they're not there. And then from Cloudflare into the domains in Erlotta, and then I can start to create the group.
Yep. And I will
Help? You will help?
yeah. If you want to stay on this call, I'm happy to. Anyone who wants to stay and learn how to put your domain over, you're welcome to. It's a bit of a boring subject, but this is then you would set up your 5-day challenge as a course, which drip feeds on each of the days that you're running the course. So it will be all set up and ready to go.
Look, I even tidied up the images.
Yeah, I was
because they were all wonky and different sizes, and Rochelle was having a nightmare. She's like, you might want to fix that before I
Rochelle
die."
starts twitching and
Yes.
but you know what? This is the process, is that you've just got to do it
You do.
messy. You've got to do it messy, and then you've got to come and tidy it up. I think if we get stuck on everything being perfect and being exactly the way we want it from the beginning, we just never do it. And now you have a group and it's got 22 members, and you've got a reason to create more content and more mini courses that help take those people into wanting to join Thrive.
Yeah.
And that just should be the 22 people that are in that should either be in Thrive or have a process that they're on that customer journey, and at some point they're just going to pop over to the other side and join Thrive.
I think that's where I'm too busy creating stuff that I forget to actually, what's the point? I need them to move from there to here. Like once you get them in the group, you're like, oh, phew, I'll just create content for this group, which is fine.
Yeah.
But
But the content's objective is your customer journey. Get them on a discovery call or whatever your next step is to getting them to buy the Thrive course.
yeah,
So all the things that you have been doing around the world in your presentations should be in here. Like you should have the same presentation that you do at the Fit Colleges, a version of it in here that I go through as a personal trainer to know that I need to do the next step, whatever that next step is. Then I do that next step, and then I come in there and talk to Karen. Like she's been through it. Ask her, what would you need in this group to have got you to join?
yeah,
Because ultimately building that $99 a month, or you have the next level up, which is an upsell. So
yeah,
once
which
they
I do
jump
have.
to 99, you get them onto coaching with you. So that's, you need to have a goal of how many members you want to have in there, and then it's just a customer journey machine. Come in here like little Pac-Man, and they come out the other side.
Yeah,
And if it's done well, it's like I come in, I do these steps, and I get this experience which has wowed me. Now I'm in to do the next level. But you're also showcasing to everybody that's in your paid community what they can do with a free group. Because you're doing a free group. So then Karen goes, I need a free group, and I can do that same thing for my own target market and leverage that same factor.
which is what Karen Thorley is doing. You're a graduate of mine, and you're now going, okay, this is what you want to create yourself. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking
And
now.
then, you can create resources too, Mari, that when Karen has her group up and running, you could give her some resources to start in her group. Like you could have a 5-day challenge that, because she's a Thrive member, she gets a done for you course that she puts in there. Those sorts of things you can start to develop because you have a system that works to share that sort of stuff.
Well, the 6 Degrees of Connection course is an affiliate program that Karen has already made money through. So that course could sit in your members area, Karen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you get, they still pay for it, but you get your affiliate. You could have that sitting in your group as an opportunity to purchase the exercise.
Well, that's what I'm trying to work out how to set up. Exactly
well,
that.
I'll let
And
you...
the Arlotta stuff. I keep talking to people about Arlotta, and I'm like, where do I send them? It's not organized for me. And I want yours to be organized as well. And other stuff I've got.
So I think that's a great, like, as I used you, Mari, as a beta client to set up the group and to get that all ironed out, use Karen. Let's work together, the three of us, to get Karen's community pumping so that you can use that as a showcase in Thrive, showing other Thrive graduates how you can set up this same lead generation machine.
So I mean, effectively anyone who's working with clients, female clients over the 40 who want a menopause course. So Karen Dawn, you can do it too. You can have my course, stick it in there. You can earn money from it too. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. It's that kind of turn around and then redo it for the person who's trying to build it under.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the more people
yeah.
that finish your course and build their own courses and add yours in, the more leads you get that you're not even doing anything for because someone else is maintaining that.
Yeah. Indeed. Okay, my brain's burst. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to
Karen Dawn, what's your accountability?
yes.
Well, I've been sitting here trying to make it that backslash setting, and it's still just spinning. So
Okay.
Oh,
I'll make that my accountability to help you to fix that problem.
thank you.
But I think your SEO you need to do as well on each of
Yep.
your pages.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that now.
But
Thank you.
once that we get that pathway the right way, then the SEO will all fall into that beautifully. So if
Yeah,
I
you just need to update that SEO anyway,
Yep.
and then that'll feed across.
beautiful.
Great. Thank you.
I'm going to stop the recording.